Hi, I'm Streaky from Streaky.com. Today I tell you my favourite multiband compressors and why and how I use them. So when it comes to multiband compression, I do use it fairly often in the same way that I would use dynamic EQ. I find them very, very similar in a lot of respects, mainly because if I'm using a multiband, I might push the gain up a little bit, which obviously then pulls that band up. And then that's giving it a kind of EQ and then it's moving. So which ones do I use? I'll give you two plugins that I use a lot, which are FabFilter Multiband, which I like a lot. The Leapwing Audio Dyne 1. Now that's quite a new plugin, but it's really nice. It's got some lovely features, a lot of parallel compression, which is going on in the low end, which is great. I use the FabFilter in the low end a lot, just to kind of grab stuff and get that moving around. So I'll then work out whereabouts I want that, and then I'll chunk that in. The great thing about it is that you can see the waveform in the background, so it gives you a kind of clue on what's going on, so you can really manipulate it and play with it. Settings wise, with a lot of compression, I like to have things with a long delay and a short release time, mainly because I want stuff to hit hard. But if it's in the high end, if I'm doing some kind of multi-band in the top end, I might leave the release off a little bit longer, just because you're going to bring more of the flavour of the compressor into the sound of the music. And in the top end, like I'm talking very top, like air band, you can leave a little bit there because you don't have to be as quick and as sharp. You can kind of let it release a bit longer. Now, I mainly found that technique to work well with Maselec compressor, which is obviously got an amazing sound. Putting that in the top end, you can also use the Maselec as a de-esser. These multi-band compressors are very versatile for a few different things. You know, they're very musical. You can work them for de-essing. You can put the EQ where, you're just pushing the level up, which is EQ. So you can do that, and you can also grab stuff. And if you've got some weirdness going on in the mids, you can kind of get rid of some stuff in the mids and really calm the mids down, but then open the tops and the bottoms to then, give it that kind of smiley face openness, and then just keep the mids under control. You can do that. I also sometimes use the mids to just get a bit of snap in the snares, which is nice, but you've got to watch that, because if you take the edge off, then you don't have as much sort of vibe. When you're mastering, especially for me, snares are really super important, just to get those really snapping, because that's what's keeping the track kind of grooving against the bass. So, sorry about the dance move. That's kind of what I'm listening to for that snap sound. I like that a lot. And you've got to listen before and after to make sure that you're not losing that out of somebody's mix, because I know a lot of mix engineers spend a lot of time to get those, those snaps and the transients correct. It's very important that you're monitoring before and after. Another hardware multiband that I use, I haven't got it at the moment, but it is a Tube Tech. I might get another one in to do a review on. That's a really lovely sounding multiband, used a lot by mix engineers for kicks and for vocals and things like that. So more on an individual level, for sort of really crafting a sound. I have used it on the mix bus, which sounded good, but at the time I opted for the Maselec because it was more versatile. The other great thing about the Maselec one was I could turn it into just a stereo compressor, which worked. It didn't work as well as the normal Maselec 2-channel stereo compressor, but again, that's another video I think for another time. Multiband compression, use it. It's really good for mixing, just for getting into stuff and really tightening certain areas of a sound that you've got going on. But for mastering, I'm using it in a similar way to a dynamic EQ, working with it, getting some musicality out of it, and just getting the track moving a bit sometimes. Sometimes tracks can sound a little bit stagnant and a bit flat. So just putting a bit of multiband in the right places just helps sort of lift the track and get it working, and get the high end moving a bit and the bass tightened and the mids, like I say, just getting those a little bit sharper sometimes. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. So my tips are for plugins, if that's the way you go, is the Dyne 1. That's got loads of presets already in it, so you can check those. Or the FabFilter Multiband, love that. Love all FabFilter plugins, to be fair. And if you've got cash and you prefer a bit of hardware, Maselec all day long. and then Tube Tech if you're wanting to use it as a mix tool as well. So that's it for multibands at the moment. I'll get a Tube Tech in because I'd like to hear that again, and I'll see if I can do a demo so that I can do a longer video. If you like these videos, please subscribe. I know you might be watching and you think you've subscribed and you haven't, so please subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified. Go to my website streaky.com, sign up for the newsletter once a month. I send out sort of tips, tricks and all kinds of stuff that you don't normally see on this channel. If you want me to master for you, there's a discount code below for getting this far in the video. Thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.